lead off, Luke? Oh, Paul. No, Paul's going to lead off.
Yeah, I'll lead off today, Luke. So after an exciting win against Virginia Tech, you move on to Old Dominion. It's conference play. Just how excited are you to finally get to that phase of the season?
Yeah, this is when it matters. So, it's like it's a new level of focus for us because, those every win matters, but these mean a little bit more for us.
And with Old Dominion, you've seen them a little bit now. The common opponent. What do they look like? Take the scores away. What do they look like? What's the challenge for you this week?
I think they're a good team. They went to toe-to-toe with Wake Forest. They beat Louisiana. I think last game was probably just a fluke game for them, honestly. They just didn't play sound football on offense. I think that kind of really screwed over their defense. But they're a good football team. They switched it up, their defense from last year. They run a new defensive scheme, and I think it's working out pretty well for them so far.
Logan, you guys have now had a year of the Sun Belt, and now you got kind of a feel for it. How much is it now you realize first of all, how good the conference is, and secondly, you can't even take a week off in this league. Everybody's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a culture shock last year for us because compared to Conference USA, it's night and day. You never get a game off. You're not playing a poor team. Every week a team, they have players. Everyone in this conference has players, and any team can beat any team every week. It's really very, very competitive compared to Conference USA.
I've talked a little bit about your guys' offensive approach. Kind of happy with getting chunk plays and moving it down the field. Just for the guys out there, how taxing is that on your body? How much energy are you using, to put together drives like that?
Yeah, I think it's taxing on your body, but we're so used to how we do our practice models, how we do the fourth quarter. It starts all the way back in January. So from that standpoint of just physically being able to do it, it's not hard at all. We're used to doing that. We were joking during the third quarter, hey, this is only period 3 in practice for us. We're fresh, but I think Coach Huff does a great job getting us ready for those situations.
Kind of going off of that a little bit, when you guys face ODU, it's typically a dogfight. Is that what you're kind of expecting on Saturday?
Yeah, we were talking about it as an offense. Offensively, we've kind of struggled the past 2 years against ODU. Our defense has done their job, and they kind of challenged us for us to do our job. Last year we only had 4 field goals. The year before that, we didn't have a touchdown till a Hail Mary pass to send it to overtime. So offensively, we got to play better, and that's kind of the challenge for us this week.
Coach Huff likes to talk about rat poison and points it out. Big win against Virginia Tech. Is Old Dominion the right opponent, knowing how tough they've always been against the Herd, and just what the challenge has always been? It's not an easy contest.
No, it's not easy at all. Any team in this conference is not easy. Last year we didn't handle the win over Notre Dame very well, and we saw that in 2 weeks following that game. And we've kind of it's not even the coaches. We did a self-leadership, just saying hey, we got to lock in even more now. How we prepared for Virginia Tech, we got to amplify even more so we don't put ourselves in that situation again.
What pops into your mind when you watch film of Jason Anderson playing linebacker for them?
He's a psycho. He's a really good player. Their whole defense is catered around him to make plays. He's physical. He's tough. He flies downhill. He's not afraid to sacrifice his body to make a tackle. He's your typical, just stud linebacker.
Any further questions? Thanks, Logan. For you all to chew on a little bit. He might be having a family affair this weekend in Huntington. Might need some extra tickets if anybody's got any. So his brother's going to be on the other side of the field.
I'll take that one. So, family affair, huh? So, how do you prepare for that? Knowing that, is it more competitive? What's going through your mind on that?
It's definitely more competitive. We always talk about this, and it's been on our mind all year. A lot of people haven't really heard or even talked about it much, but I just announced it to the team the other day that we're going to be facing my brother. We're both excited, and yeah, we're just ready to get after it.
How did your teammates respond to that? Do they, they encourage you? They got your back? I mean, how do they respond to that?
Yeah, so they give you the, oh, you got a brother? And I was like, yeah, I got a brother. And yeah, they're very encouraging. And they were like, yeah, like we're gonna see who the better green is. So
With that said, what's the challenge this week when you look at Old Dominion for you?
I think the challenge is going to be containing the quarterback in the pocket. I feel like he could be very elusive at sometimes, and also allowing the DBs to be able to lock down the receivers. And if we contain the quarterback and make sure he get the ball out his hands faster, then their receivers wouldn't have enough time to do what they want to do.
Talk about your journey here with the Herd this year. Obviously, got out there Saturday, made a couple big plays. What's it been like for you to kind of work your way into that rotation on the D line?
It's been very fun. I know that, like, personally, I think I put in a good amount of time working on my craft, and I still feel like I got a lot of things to work on, especially like knowing the game of football a little bit more. But I feel like my athletic ability kind of like carries that. But after some time goes by, I definitely feel like my knowledge about football will kind of match my ability to play.
One question again about your brother. Will you talk to him on the phone this week? Are you banned from that? No phone calls? What?
So we talked on the phone probably about every day since I want to say about Sunday, and yeah, we just go back and forth, and it's not really more like a battle. It's more of like we get to finally play each other, and yeah.
Yeah. With ODU, I guess you've obviously looked at film. It looked like they used a couple quarterbacks on Saturday. Does that change your preparation at all?
I want to say sorta. We definitely have to play to our competition. So if there's a quarterback that's more elusive and that can escape the pocket, we got to make sure that we're containing them a little bit better. And also for the other quarterback that's a little bit more better in the passing game, we got to make sure that we get the ball out of his hands a little faster.
Any further questions? All right, thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah, this guy doesn't really need an introduction, but J.J. Roberts? Who wants to go first? Nope.
Right here. All right, JJ, looking at conference play this week, welcoming ODU, just what do you see from them? And I asked Huff, but like you guys always talk about going 1-0 every week. Is there a little added this week considering it's conference play?
Conference play does like make it a little bit more, not meaningful, but like it makes everybody focus, like on who we're playing. But I mean, I don't think there's anything added to it just because the 1-0 motto sticks every week. But I mean, I expect a good game. ODU's a good team, and welcome into Joan.
Yeah. I'm going to press you a little bit more on that. What makes them so good, and what's the challenge for you?
So I think offensively they have good skill, and like Mike said, they use two different quarterbacks. But I expect them to go back to the one that's been playing, just because I think he just had a bad first half. They just wanted to sit him so he didn't lose any more of his confidence. But definitely their skill, and they have a weird offensive scheme going on. But we have a good game plan for them.
It's almost becoming an old hat for you guys. Prepare for more than just one quarterback.
Yeah. No, I think it's just working out that way. Honestly, I don't think it's just how it is. But I mean, most teams have good backups, and you got to prepare for both of them anyways, just in case something happens. So.
She asked about the Sun Belt opener, but obviously this will be your first season in the Sun Belt. From an outsider's perspective, before you got here, what did you know about the Sun Belt, and were you able to watch them on TV or at all?
Honestly, I didn't really watch much other than a couple of teams. Obviously, I watched Marshall games last year, even while I was on my previous team. But I mean, I knew a little bit about the Sun Belt, but I always knew it was a good conference, and when I got to Marshall, I was excited to be in the Sun Belt. So,
JJ, Coach was talking about how they're doing different things offensively than maybe we're used to seeing. Is that kind of good because it keeps you guys on the back end on your toes?
I think so. seeing something new. You're always going to be alert for different plays and different schemes. But they definitely do something unique that I've never seen on offense before. So I'm looking forward to go against it.
You guys had a pretty solid defensive performance Saturday against, a Power 5 team in Virginia Tech. What does that do for your guys' confidence heading into conference play?
I think the confidence has always been there, but I mean, it just kind of, because we've expected to do what we've done so far, and we continue to get better. But I think it just solidifies how we feel about each other and how we feel about the team and how we feel about the defense. And we're starting to come together even more so throughout the season. More games we play, the closer we all become and the tighter we play. But I mean, it definitely was a good win for us.
Coach talked about how he preaches discipline. What are the different ways he does that for you guys, not just on the field, but holistically?
Yeah, he doesn't allow us to get laxed. That's the first thing. Like obviously winning a college football game is hard. They always say that, but You're supposed to go into the game expecting to win, but celebrate the win and then move on. But obviously, like, you got little things like tucking in your shirt when you're in the building and other stuff like that. Just small things that you can't let slip, or the discipline will go down the drain.
Any further questions for JJ? All right, thanks, Derek. Next up, we'll have linebacker Eli Neil.
Hey, Eli. Kind of what I was just asking JJ, you guys had a pretty strong defensive performance on Saturday. Just what does that do for your guys' confidence as you now turn and enter conference play?
I want to say the biggest thing that the last game did for us is show us that we're not exactly where we want to be. We just got to make sure that we attack this week a little bit different than we did last week. The intensity has to step up, and not because we're playing ODU or because it's homecoming, simply because that's what the standard calls for. So we know that we've put together some games, but we know we're a few plays away from being that great defense that we want to be. So we got to find a way to get that done this week.
You guys have talked about always wanting to outplay the opposing defense.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they've got Jason Henderson, but anybody outside of him that kind of makes that defense go?
He's definitely the main focus over there at ODU. Definitely love to watch the way he plays. They had a DB, I believe, that returned a touchdown, 2 touchdowns. One was an interception, one was a fumble. So they got guys that can make spark plays on the other end. And I mean, like you said, each and every week our goal is to outplay the other team's defense. So I think we'll have our hands full this week.
On your job specifically, what's the challenge for you this week?
Just making sure that we refocus ourselves as a team. I'm a team-oriented guy. I know you asked me, what's a plan for me, but I feel like we just got to refocus ourselves after coming off a sellout crowd and a win. It's easy to get lost in that, but I feel like we've had our fair share of big wins since I've been here, and over the years we've got more and more used to it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like the highs and lows of winning big games or losing, we try to stay right here no matter what. So I feel like this week that's going to be the main focus for sure.
Do you kind of look back a little bit on the Notre Dame win and what happened the week after? Is that sort of part of what you're talking about with keeping a level keel?
I mean, that's the most recent to look at after coming off of a big game. But, I mean, I know it's not just us. It's everybody in the country. After you play any kind of big game, especially with the height of social media and all of that, like, everybody's going to give you your praise. Or if you lose, you're going to hear everybody's thoughts about your loss. And with all of that going on, you just got to be able to tune it all out, be able to play the same each and every week, regardless of the opponent, regardless of the results you had. So just being able to come back out on a Tuesday, have a great Tuesday practice, and just build off of what we learned from last week, win or loss.
Should be another pretty good crowd and atmosphere this week. What was that like last week? And especially at the end of the game, I don't know how much you were paying attention to that or noticed it, but 4th and 1 and the false start, how big a deal was the crowd and all of that?
Oh, that was huge. That's probably like the biggest crowd I've seen here since I've been here, for sure. And they definitely play a big role. We've been in a plenty different hostile environments, and countless different places I've been where it's been millions of fans. They're loud, and I feel like people don't understand how much that can actually help or hurt a game. I feel like the crowd definitely helped us towards the end with the false start that they had, and that was big. I love playing in that atmosphere, especially at home. Hopefully we can turn it out again this weekend.
Eli, you mentioned that game Saturday showed the defense isn't where you want it to be. What do you mean by that?
We're chasing perfection. We understand that perfection isn't possible, but there's nothing wrong with striving for it each and every day. So that's what I mean by that. Not to say that, like, oh, we were so bad in this area, we were so bad in that area, because that's not the case. I feel like when you chase perfection, you can't get complacent. So each and every week we got to find those small and minute details to make us get to where we want to go.
Any
Good.
further questions for Eli?
I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Eli.
All right, Kade, Coach was talking about, he looks at every game individually. None's bigger than the other one, but you come off that big win, now you're going to conference play. This will be your first go-around. What are your thoughts on ODU? I know the other guys have told you about what you expect on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team. We talked about it so far all week. Just, it's a faceless opponent, no matter who it is. And we just got to come in, no matter if it's Pittsburgh Steelers or if it's ODU, whoever it is, we just got to have the same level of communication and, preparation to go get a win.
What do they do well, and what's the challenge for you?
I mean, they play hard. I mean, we talked about that. We see it all on film. They play hard. They got some really good players. And, we just got to lock in on their scheme and our scheme this week and just find a way to go get a win.
Did you expect to have this much of a role in the offense, when you came here? Obviously, leading receiver through 3 games, and just how you kind of approached your role this year?
I mean, coming in, me and Toby were kind of, going neck and neck, I think. And, Toby's a great player, and he helped me a lot. But, Coach Shea, he brought me here, and he was just like, the level of competition here is obviously more than I've ever really had to go against. So I just got to lock in, whatever my role was, either being a rotation guy, being the starter, whatever it is, just come in, kind of do what I can do. And he told me that from the beginning, like, it's not going to be easy coming here, but, just do you. And, I think I've been able to do that.
Kade, when we watch you from the sidelines and elsewhere, it looks like you like to inflict a little punishment if you can once you get the grab. Is that just the way you grew up playing football, physical kind of style?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I was always kind of the bigger kid. I was a O-lineman up until high school and kind of played D-line too. So from a young age, I was kind of just like go inflict your pain on people and, just kind of carried over when I got my opportunity in high school to play a wideout. And, I always kind of took that to heart, just go get what I can get and, don't let the first person tackle you.
Kade, what did you think about that environment out here on Saturday? First sellout crowd, I mean, that you've experienced here in the Jones.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. It was one of those things that's a once-in-a-lifetime type of thing. And, I kind of focus on just taking it all in sometimes, whether that's in warm-ups, just kind of look around at the crowd or just kind of just embrace it with the guys. So it was definitely a crazy experience and one of those that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Do you keep track of the number of defenders you try and hurdle?
No, I don't. I probably should, but, it's one of those things that in my head, for some reason, I just think right away, like, oh, I see him try to go make a play, whether it's jumping in the air or whatever it is. So I probably should tally it up, but, I just kind of don't really think about it, I guess, when I'm on the field.
Do they go down low, figure that's the way to get you because they don't want to hit you high?
I mean, that's kind of what I think from now. I mean, anytime I kind of get out there and I'm out, I just see it, whoever the safety linebacker, they always try to come low. So I'm just like, try to go over top, I guess. But, it's one of those things that it's kind of an instinct type of deal, But I probably shouldn't be doing it as much, to be real with you. But, I just try to go make a play for the team and whatever I can do, just kind of bring that energy source to them.
Any further questions? All right, thanks, Kate.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.